Hey guys, it's Ollie. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So if you've been on my channel before, I usually do a pro and con list for every animal I own. And today we are going to be talking about 5 reasons why you should not get a bearded dragon. Now just a disclaimer, because I always get comments on these. Please watch the whole thing. Obviously, I have a bearded dragon. This is not me saying that they make horrible, terrible pets. These are just things that maybe you should think about before you commit to having a bearded dragon. I'm also super sorry that this video is short. I am bulk filming today. I have a trip coming up, so I'm going to have a pet sitter over, and as you guys can imagine, with 2 dogs, 2 cats, and then some exotics, it takes a lot of prep work. So let's just go ahead and get right into the video. So we're just going to hop into number 1, which is the amount of space they take up. So most people agree that the minimum enclosure size for an adult bearded dragon is a 60-gallon breeder. I disagree with that. I think that's still a little too small. Personally, I think that the minimum size requirement should be a 4x2x2, which is what I have back here. This also just isn't an animal that you can just hole up in a closet or something. They need that space. Not just that, but a lot of places don't allow bearded dragons. So if you are renting, your landlord may not be okay with you having a bearded dragon, and this isn't an animal you can just hide and hope no one notices. They do take up a large amount of space. So just keep that in mind before you get a bearded dragon. I know they're small as babies, their enclosure is small as a baby, but as they grow, they're going to need that upgrade, and it's going to start taking up more of the space in your house. Also, their enclosures are big, so if you're going to be moving around, that may not be very fun for you. Enclosures can be pretty heavy, and it's not very fun to move with them, not gonna lie. So maybe also consider that before you get a bearded dragon. Number 2 is the time you have to spend with your bearded dragon. So time is a big thing. If you have a job that demands a lot of hours from you, or you're studying, maybe you're a college student, maybe a bearded dragon isn't necessarily for you quite yet. I know a lot of people that can make it work, but it can easily get overwhelming. So a lot of times bearded dragons will get soaked to get hydrated or to help them poop. Sometimes bearded dragons poop and then run through it, so you need to be able to wash that, which is pretty gross. And let me tell you, bearded dragon poop, it is the worst smell I have ever experienced. You also do have to spend the time cleaning their enclosure. I have to clean her enclosure anywhere between 1 and 3 times a day, depending on how messy she gets. You also have to take time out of your day to feed your bearded dragon. I know that sounds obvious, but they do eat twice a day. Now, baby bearded dragons eat more often. I don't have a ton of experience with baby bearded dragons. I got mine as an adult, mostly because of these reasons. Not only that, but they do seem to enjoy socializing. So for example, Prim is a pretty social beardie. She really enjoys hanging out with us. We give her time on the floor to run around. We have her on our shirts while we play video games or while I edit. We even take her out on the town sometimes. That is purely based on your own bearded dragon. They seem to really enjoy spending time with people. So she likes to just hang out on my shirt like she's doing now while I play video games or while I edit or whatever it is I'm doing. And a lot of times if they're not meeting those requirements of socializing, they will actually glass surf, and it's just not very fun to watch. So definitely make sure that you have time for your bearded dragon before you get one. They do require a lot of your time. Which brings me to my next point, which is that they do eat live bugs, and a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people don't like the idea of having them in your home. A lot of people don't like the idea of having to touch them or to feed them to something. So that is something you need to consider. So like, I don't like superworms. I don't know what it is about the superworms. I don't like handling them like with my bare hands. So oftentimes I use feeding tongs to feed those to her. As far as them being in your house, unless you're going to go to the pet store every time you feed them and then come back and feed her immediately, I mean, you're going to have bugs in your house. That is just something that you're going to have to do. There's not a ton of getting around that. They definitely should not have the freeze-dried bugs. They are not good for them whatsoever. Freeze-dried bugs don't have a lot of nutrition, and they're mostly just eating the shell. They need good, healthy, and gut-loaded bugs. And next on the list, which is probably the most important one, is that they cost a ton of money. Like, they cost a lot of money. She is by far my neediest pet, up there with my dogs and cats, easily, with time and money. So they need UVB lighting, they need heating. Those bulbs can add up. The heating not as much, but definitely the UVB can add up. Even after you get the UVB fixture in your first bulb, the bulbs need changed, usually every 6 months. I know some of them now can go up to a year, and that can add up, as well as the food thing. The bugs can add up, the salad can add up. Also, with money, you have to worry about the supplements you give them. They need calcium, they need vitamins. You have to make sure you have enough for all of that. All of that can add up. Like, they're not cheap pets. They are not cheap. I don't have a ton of experience with baby Beardies because I purposefully got an adult because the baby Beardie is not in my lifestyle right now. But they do eat multiple times a day, and they eat a ton more bugs. And they are overall just more costly in that sense because they eat so many bugs. Also, their vet bills can become costly, which brings me into my fifth and final point, vet visits. So, vet visits are costly. They need them fairly often. They're kind of prone to parasites, so you definitely need to make sure you're able to get them seen if something's wrong. Not only is a vet visit for your Beardie costly and stressful for you and your lizard, but also not all cities have a vet office that will take a bearded dragon. So I think we have one or two in town, which we're very lucky for, but I know a lot of people that have to travel to their vet office. We have to do that for my Pac-Man frog. There are no vets in my town that will take a Pac-Man frog, so I have to drive about an hour, hour and a half out of town to get him seen, which sucks. So that also takes time out of your day and is more stressful and costs more money when you have to go to a vet outside of town and you have to travel for that, and it sucks. Now, all of that being said, bearded dragons, in my opinion, Prim here is worth all of it. She gives me a run for my money, quite literally, but she's so worth it. And next week's video is going to be the pros of a bearded dragon, so please watch that one as well. But that is pretty much all I have for you guys today, so I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Comment down below if you have any more cons for owning a bearded dragon. I would love to make another one of these in the future as a part 2. As always, don't forget to hit the like for the algorithm. All of my links, including my Instagram, my art account, and my Facebook group, are in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you are into this kind of content or really any animal kind of content. I upload every single Saturday around 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, but you can hit the bell if you don't want to remember that. And as always, I will see you guys next week. Bye!